Hi friends, and welcome into the continuation of my Abyssal dungeon guides. Today we are going over the Phantom Palace Abyssal dungeons. First one being the Hall of the Twisted Warlord, and then the Hildebrandt Palace. I'll just go over the main mechanics, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory, obviously like dodging the red circle AoE so you don't get hurt. But yeah, any more questions on this, remember you can always catch me live at twitch.tv/BentleyGamingTV, link down below, as well as our community Discord. If you like the video, remember to give it a like and consider subscribing, but let's get into the first boss. So this fight is quite simple, but the first thing you'll realize when you get into it is that there's two bosses. There's a golem and there's the mage lady. The important thing to know straight off the bat is that if you kill one before the other, it enrages the other one. So what you need to do is make sure that you're DPSing them kind of equally, with the aim to kill them at roughly the same time. Now, I'm going to freeze frame here, as this is the other major mechanic for this fight. You'll notice above my head here that I have a crosshair. This is random for which party member this goes on, but one party member will have this crosshair over its head without the blue circle around their feet, as you can see by my other party members here. And because I've been targeted, this means that the golem is going to fire an orb at my direction. Now, look at the minimap to see the positioning. The mage always goes into the middle, but the position of the golem will be random. In this instance, he's on the right hand side. And what you need to do is position yourself on the opposite side of the mage, because the orb that the golem is going to fire out at me, we want it to hit the mage. So if we slow this down, you'll see the purple orb comes in and hits the mage. The other thing to note is that the purple circle around my teammates' feet, you guys want to spread out because that'll explode and damage you. So that's the first instance of this. Continue DPSing after this until it happens again, but this time there's a little difference, and that's these chess pieces that spawn. So this is the same as last time. It's actually targeted me again. You can use the minimap to get the position of the golem, but you have to destroy the chess piece or chess pieces that are in the way of that purple orb coming from the golem to the mage. Then just DPS them down equally as best you can, and that's the end of the fight. Then after a little bit of running around and killing a few extra things on the way, you'll get to the next boss. This fight has a couple of like pizza mechanics and things you need to dodge, but there is one main thing you want to know for this, and before you come into this fight, you want to equip these. These are whirlwind grenades, and they're going to help with the stagger check that we're going to have in a moment. I also just want to bring to your attention with this, some of you guys might notice our other sorceress in the group, the name is actually grayed out. It was disconnection problems. So we actually did this with 3 people, but it doesn't affect any of the mechanical explanations. So I'm just going to use this footage anyway. So DPS the boss down as quick as you can and avoid the like pizza mechanics that come up until he teleports into the middle. This is the main white mechanic for this fight, and on this instance we actually fail it here so that I can show you. Now for this you want to split yourself into positions at like 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. As you can see on the minimap, and 4 swords will spawn, and these will chase each of the players. And you'll also notice that the boss has this bar underneath his feet. This is a stagger check, and you need to use skills that have stagger, as well as the whirlwind grenades I mentioned, which really help to get this done. And if you pick up too many swords at once or fail the stagger check, it's a wipe. And as you can see here, we all die. So what you need to do when the swords spawn, you'll notice that on the left-hand side of our team, there is no purple debuff. However, as soon as one of your team members pick up a sword, then there is. Everybody gets this debuff. This only lasts for a few seconds, and you see it's gone there, and then you can pick up another sword. We've got the debuff again, you wait for it to go, then I can pick up the sword there, and then after a couple of seconds it will go. So ideally, because the swords follow you, you want to organize your team to run around in a clockwards motion so that you don't run into each other or run a sword into one of your teammates. And then also on top of that, you want to be using, as I said, stagger skills to be able to get the stagger check done. This is another stagger check in the fight. Just stagger him down. It stops these big AoEs and stuff going on, but it's not the same mechanic. He will, however, do the sword mechanic one more time. So after you've done it the second time, again, just DPS him down and the fight is done. Okay, and then we're on to the Hildebrandt Abyssal dungeon. This is the last dungeon in tier 1, and it's one of my favorites in the entire game. First off, I want you to make sure that you bring some of the whirlwind grenades to this fight for the last phase, because there's 3 different fights going through this Abyssal dungeon. So in this first fight, there's a load of like standard AoEs and stuff that you'll be able to dodge yourself and pick up pretty easily, but the first main mechanic is this one. This is a pizza mechanic that has a moving safe spot. As you can see here, I'm running around her, but the direction that that safe spot moves in is different every time she does it. It's either clockwise or counterclockwise, but the way to tell is by this orb here. It will move round in a direction, and that is the indicator for if it's going to go clockwise or not. So just follow this around, and after she's done it 4 times, it'll be over. The next main mechanic is doors. So these doors spawn all around the map, and they change every single time you do this fight. However, when you go in, say, a red door, it will teleport you to the other red door. So the waves as well start in the bottom left and move up to the top right, and then come from the top left, moving down to the bottom right. You have to dodge it by going through the doors. However, you need to remember that the purple door is bad. If you go into the purple door, it's a fake door and it will kill you. And if you get hit by the wave like my teammate did, then you'll die as well. So apart from those 2 mechanics, that's really all you need to know. The rest is just dodging and DPSing. After this, there'll be a little bit of trash to kill and some lasers to dodge, and then you go into the second fight here. This again has a bunch of mechanics that you'll be able to figure out and dodge pretty easily yourself. But there are a few things here, like this one. She'll spawn these orbs that have a little blue AoE that they fire out. If you get hit by one, you'll be imprisoned. You'll gain a purple bar underneath your feet. This will lock you in place, and then after a little bit of time, will damage you and knock you up. But you can be broken out of it by your teammates just attacking it. It's not to do with damage, it's to do with the amount of hits. So any quick attacks that you can hit your teammate with, it won't hurt them, but it will break them out of the imprisonment. The next mechanic is this one. She'll teleport to the middle and tilt the arena with these purple balls falling down that you need to dodge. Otherwise, if you get hit towards the bottom, the big rolling spikes will completely annihilate you. It's worth noting that you can actually use your spacebar dash to go through these, although it will hurt. But what you need to do here is wait for this. This is a red marker that will appear randomly under one of your teammates' feet. What you need to do is go and stand right next to her, and it will cool down a meteor that will hit her and knock her out of this phase. Apart from that, it literally just DPS her down. She should do it a second time, and then after you've killed her, you'll be on to phase 3. So for this fight, you definitely want to make sure that you have those whirlwind grenades equipped for the stagger checks, and there is a little something that you can do to cheese the first one and skip it. But the first main mechanic you'll see is this one. She'll do a wave attack out that doesn't damage, but puts this little blue circle around everyone's feet that actually starts to shrink and get smaller, and then after it's finished, it will be a short delay, and then put down a constantly exploding circle on the floor for a little bit of time. Ideally for this, you want your team to spread out so that these exploding circles aren't right next to her, and then at the last second use a spacebar dash or a mobility skill to get away from the explosions. This is then the first of 2 stagger checks that you'll have. First off, the way that you cheese this mechanic, you can see that she's actually in the middle of the arena. What you need to do is at the beginning of the fight is lure her over to either the right hand side or the left hand side of the arena. Fight her there, because the first instance of this stagger check will happen wherever she is. And for example, if you lure her over to the right hand side of the arena, when she does this, there is a range. It's massive, but you can run to the complete opposite side of the arena and hide in the corner, and you can completely skip it, saving yourself, for example, whirlwind grenades and money. If, for example, though, she's in the middle like this, you will have to do it. Ideally, what you want to do is get everybody to first throw down the whirlwind grenades and then use your stagger skills. However, as you can see in this one, I didn't have to use one because I knew that my team was able to get through the stagger check without it. So it is possible to save yourself money, but just be aware. So she has 40 health bars. The first stagger check happens at about 34 health bars. This is the second one. She will always teleport to the middle for the second one, so you definitely have to do it or it is a wipe. But this one is about roughly 26 health bars. After this, the next main mechanic is lasers. So with this, one of your players randomly will have this pulsating X on them with 3 little blacked out orbs above their head. With this, the person with the X just needs to stand still, while the other 3 party members that have the line need to aim that at the person who has the X. Every successful hit will fill up those blacked out orbs above the head, and the meteor will be cooled down and you need to escape the red circle. If you're too close, like literally standing on top of the person with the X, or too far away, the laser will miss and it won't fill up circles. So definitely try and work on your positioning for this. And the best way to aim the laser is to use your auto attacks. So just run within a reasonably close distance to the person with the X, use your auto attacks to aim it and you'll be fine. Next up, we have another laser mechanic with a very slight difference, and that's because there will be an anchor, that we call it, attached to one of your party members randomly. This is the anchor here, and you want to make sure that the person that has the X and the blacked out orbs above the head goes and stands in the anchor. However, the person who has the anchor, if they move and spin around, so does the anchor. So what I'm going to show you here is actually a fail, but there's also a way to cheese it, because as you can see, the person who has the anchor keeps moving around and makes it far too difficult to do this mechanic, essentially trolling us. However, you can see our scrapper actually ran off to the other side of the map and completely dodged the mechanic. So yeah, you've got 2 ways to do this. You can either cheese it by sacrificing players, or you can do the mechanic properly by having the person with the X stand in the anchor. The person with the anchor doesn't have to worry about a laser placement, just the anchor on the floor, and then the other 2 players will have a laser that needs to hit the person with the X. Other than that, there's a few little like waves on the floor that you can see here that you have to dodge through, but those are the main mechanics. There's bullets and stuff that come out. You'll get used to that pretty quickly, but I hope this video and guide has helped you through the dungeons. And if you like the video, remember to give it a like and consider subscribing. You can always catch me live at twitch.tv/BentleyGamingTV, and we have the Discord down below. So until the next one, guys, hope you've at least learned something, and I also hope you have a very nice day. See you now.